Namaste. I am Aruvita Agarwal, the Great India Festival's ambassador, and I welcome you to a very special workshop by Yoga in Canada that will encourage us to practice and learn holistic living. We present this workshop by the Heartfulness Institute, the cultural partner and collaborator of the Great India Festival. Heartfulness Institute is a global nonprofit organization present over in 100 countries with over 4 million practitioners across the globe. They have been serving Canada for the past 47 years. So I think, what is heartfulness? Heartfulness is a path of experiencing our inner self. It teaches us to dive deep into our heart and be in a natural state of love, peace, and calmness. And don't we all need that right now? To promote mental wellness and relaxation, we're going to bring 4 meditation sessions during the month of March. And we will be starting our meditation journey today with experiencing Pranaahuti. Our lead coaches for today's session are Tanmay Kansara and Vishwa Srinivasan. Tanmay and Vishwa are certified heartfulness trainers with many years of practicing heartfulness meditation. And as a bonus, we're also very excited to extend our partnership with the Heartfulness Institute to celebrate Yoga in Canada Summit on the International Day of Yoga on June 21st, 2021. So I welcome you and let's get started.
Okay.
Over to you, Vishwa.
Yeah, thank you so much, Aruvita. And a very good morning, everyone. Both Tanmay and myself, we are very happy to be with you all this morning. You see, I'm very happy that, I'm able to, speak in this particular forum, especially partnering with the Great India Festival. I hope that we are able to do more such, events where we both are able to partner and take it along. I'm really looking forward to it. See, in this session, what you will basically be looking at is, something very interesting, something very unique to what heartfulness is. In fact, the name heartfulness itself could be very interesting. If you were to go into Google and look for meditation, it's very common that you would have come across this term mindfulness. While mindfulness is very synonymous with meditation, what is heartfulness would be a question that what anybody would be having. So the key thing that what we want to share with you all in this session is not something like a lecture thing. Like we don't want to actually just come across talking with you all about what meditation is, like, full session completely loaded with just a simple talk. It's not going to be that way. What we want to actually offer you would be a fine blend of both knowledge as well as experience. The knowledge aspect of it, whatever we are going to be sharing, we will try to share more around heartfulness so that you have a proper introduction to what heartfulness is. And then we want to go into an experience session. There is something very unique to heartfulness. We would like you all to experience that. We will take you along in that course. So basically in the session, what you will be finding is around for the first 25 minutes or 30 minutes, you will have a proper introduction to what heartfulness is. Very importantly, this Heartfulness Institute, which is a global nonprofit in over 140 countries, we will introduce who the organization is, what we do, and what heartfulness is. And then after that, we will close our eyes and there will be a guided meditation session where we will get to experience what heartfulness is. And when that is over, we will have some sort of a question answer session where you are free to, ask any questions that you have or even share any experience that you had during this meditation session. Now, without taking much time, the only thing that I would share with you all is have a very open mind and an open heart to what is going to unfold during the session. And, I'm looking forward to be connecting with you all after the session to know how you felt. So with that said, I will turn it over to Tanmay to take us into this presentation.
Thank you, Vishwa and Arvita, for the kind introduction. I will start by sharing my screen. So let me know if you guys are able to see my screen.
Yeah, we can.
Perfect. All right. So we started talking about heartfulness, and there were two key terms that we talked about: the heart and the mind. And as Vishwa pointed out, we request you to have an open heart and mind. because the session that we will do with you for Heartfulness, we're going to give you information, because every time we do a Heartfulness session, the first question that somebody has is, what is heartfulness and how do you meditate? Once you kind of go past those steps, then people start to think of, okay, how do I meditate and what do I do to meditate with heartfulness? So the theory piece is going to try and help you answer those questions so that you don't have to think about those things yourself, and we'll give you instructions, guided instructions, as Rishma mentioned, on how you can meditate, so we can aid you in our journey and the experience. All right, so without further ado, let me start by giving you guys a quick introduction about what we're going to do today. So as we mentioned, we already had our introductions done. Heartfulness Institute will introduce you to what Heartfulness Institute is. We'll quickly cover meditation, why meditation, how meditation, and the different types of meditation. We all know there's tons of meditations out there. We'll tell you and show you how heartfulness is different, how we are based on an experienced approach, how there's scientific knowledge to back our research and what we do. And then to end it all, we will have a Q&A at the end. So any questions, doubts, concerns that you have, we'll be more than happy to take those on. So Heartfulness is a nonprofit organization. All the work that folks like myself, Vishwa, all our trainers do is all nonprofit. We have a footprint in over about 140 countries, and we have millions of practitioners who increase. And the fact that we had COVID in 2020 meant that people were looking for some sort of sanity, mental peace, control their anxiety, control their stress levels. So that has led a lot more people to try and figure out what meditation is, how can meditation help me relax and live my daily activities without me starting to, go a little bit crazy or something along those lines. We've partnered with UN, we're recognized with UN. We do a lot of development programs at the colleges, at the corporate levels, at the university levels, at the school levels, including wellness programs. There is 2 marquee events that Heartfulness does every year. And I think Arvita or Balaji alluded to one of those. There's the International Yoga Day and the International Peace Day. And we certainly look forward to collaborating with TGIF for the 2021 event this year. Every year, we try and increase our presence so more and more people are able to benefit from meditation and take advantage of it. In 2020, when we had a chance to do the International Yoga Day, we were able to reach out to 22 million plus audience through various collaborations from the cable networks, from our corporate sectors, from our media partners. In Canada, we were able to collaborate with all of our major cities, including the mayors, who were able to kind of, give us a stamp that, yes, what you guys are trying to do is helping people, and we fully support your initiative. For the International Peace Day, again, we were able to partner with a lot of corporates across the globe. You will see presence in, Southeast Asia, Europe, North America, including the media presence and the cable presence. And the Peace Day, which is the meditation event, was able to pull in about 30 million plus users. As a show of confidence, if I can put it that way, we got a little of a recommendation from our PM saying, we really appreciate your initiatives of what you're trying to do and how this will help the people of Canada across whatever backgrounds they have, if I can put it that way. And he basically is saying, we are happy that you guys are doing a service of this nature to the people of Canada. We're not just a meditative organization, where you come in for a session and you meditate and you kind of done with. We actually also have a cultural outreach. And the COVID was a perfect example of how we were able to do a lot of our cultural and social with the community outreach, if I can put it that way. One prime example is our Peel police Twitter account, which thanked Heartfulness for all its support. Apart from that, we were able to reach out to almost 700 plus firefighters 200 plus police personnel. Police work is a very stressful job, and they have benefited immensely from all of our services that we were able to help them through. We have our presence where we reach out to long-term care, the food banks, the acute hospitals, because they were one of the hardest hit places in the last year. So we try to reach out either through our sessions, through foods, so through meals, sorry, through whatever means we can to help the people in the community. And this is where we're trying to basically, we're trying to help out whichever way we can, not just through the meditative approach to try and help us mentally, but also to the community approach to try and make people more comfortable and see whatever we have, we can share with them. So this brings us to our golden question, why you guys are all here is, why should I meditate? If you think of it, just think from the morning that you woke up till now, you probably had tons of thoughts saying, hey, I have this session this morning. I wonder what they're going to talk about. Are they going to talk about this? Are they going to talk about mindfulness, this session, this topic, that topic? And then this is just for this this morning, apart from all the regular thoughts that you had during your whole day. There is numerous scientific studies that are done, that basically gauge that an average mind probably thinks about 60,000 odd thoughts a day. When you discount the number of hours we sleep, and you try and gauge that, it's almost about a thought per second or more. So you can see the mind is kind of just like whizzing through. Every second it is thinking something else, or something different, or something from the past, something from the future. But very rarely we are at that present moment trying to think and enjoy what you're actually doing. It's always in the past, sometimes in the future, but very rarely we are in the present, enjoying the present. So another kind of analogy that we try and put out is, let's say if you go for a movie, when you go for a movie, you try and go into the skin of the character. And the reason why we go for that is because we want to enjoy all those emotions in the movie, whether it's romance, action, whatever kind of suits your taste. What that does is that when we have an empty slot in our day, or when we're not doing anything and our mind is sort of blank, it starts going back to trying to recreate those scenarios so we can make our lives more colorful, if I can put it that way. We try and add unnecessary drama in our lives by trying to think about all those things to keep our brain occupied. And that results in our mind going back from present to future to a whole ton of different thoughts, negative, positive. But essentially, we are not able to try and keep our mind calm and try and live in the present. So this is why you will see that meditation helps us a lot. Sorry. We're always trying to be, if I can say, we're always trying to react to a situation. So for example, there's a confrontation that you're having with somebody. It's always after we get sort of agitated or upset that we realize, oh my God, I got upset. It's never, if we were able to figure out that, few seconds before we were about to lose our cool, or we were about to say something that we should not say to our partner or a colleague or our children or our friends, if you're able to get that intuition, get that sense a second or two before we were about to say, we would probably not say that, because we all know, every time it's like an arrow that's left the bow, it cannot come back. So then we have to do a lot of damage control to reverse what we have said and done. So if we are able to get that intuition, a second or two before we are about to do something or say something, that, if I say something of this nature, if I do something, it's going to cause these side effects. So let me not do it, or let me not say it. This is where meditation helps. And what happens when we are in a situation like this is our subconscious in the back of our head is continuously thinking a million things. And we always just spit out the lines or the words that we want to say. And we are sort of reacting to the situation instead of being proactive and trying to take a moment to understand the situation and react to it. Sorry. So this is where meditation helps us, is, you have your mind that's going in million different directions. Meditation helps us kind of regulate our minds. It helps us live in the present, enjoy the present, try and be more of a proactive person instead of a reactive person, so that we can live our lives to the fullest, not just in a work scenario, but in a family life, in friends, and actually enjoy the present to make us happy. Here's I have a classic example of meditation is, we all have phones, we all have mobile phones. If it's a simple logic, when you are on your phone and if you have all of your different apps, your location settings, your YouTubes, your Facebooks, everything, all the different games open, the battery starts to drain quickly. As soon as we try and go to that, 20%, we have this smart meter or smart battery meter that gets activated, and a whole bunch of apps get shut down. The data usage is controlled. So what does that tell us? It basically tells us that, when you go to that control or just 20% battery, you have to start focusing only on the things that are required for you. So if we can take that logic and put that in our day to day, and say, what, instead of me trying to focus on everything at every given point in time, let me just try and focus on the important things at a particular point in time. We will be able to do that specific item with more effectiveness and more happiness. It'll give us more pleasure to do that instead of trying to do A while thinking about things B, C, and D. So if we can do that one thing with our full focus and attention without being diverted into multiple different places, that's what that's what meditation helps us achieve. It gives us satisfaction. You have this satisfaction. Yes, I did this thing. I was able to give my 100% attention, whether it's work, whether it's talking to the kids, or whether it's talking to your colleagues, or whether it's just doing your household chores, whatever it may be. This is where meditation kind of helps us bring our hyperactive mind into a controlled state, of only one direction, one pointedness thinking. And this is not to say that, you can't multitask or anything of that nature. This is just to say, when you're doing that particular thing, just try and enjoy it, live in the present. So we're able to give our full attention to that one task that we're doing. Another big thing is, thinking and feeling. When you're doing all these when we are actually, not just you, even I do that quite often, is when we're doing all these activities, whether, it's watching a movie and thinking about, hey, I have to do this at work, or doing the household work, and, I have to do this for the kids. We are thinking continuously. What meditation helps us is go from that thinking to the feeling level, so that everything is more natural. Because when you think of feeling always comes natural to us, whether it's, feeling of warmth, feeling of whatever emotions it may be, it's natural to us. But when we have to thinking becomes more of a mind activity, and we have to use our resources to do the thinking. So meditation helps us do go more from that thinking to the feeling, so our lives become more natural and in tune with nature. And also, the biggest thing is helps us get grounded. So there's lots of advantages of meditation, but two of the biggest things that I would highlight is that ability to go from our thinking to feeling, so we become more natural and help us regulate our mind. Again, just not control, but regulate, because regulation of anything helps us become more effective in our day-to-day lives. So, there is meditations, there's types of meditations, and I'm going to hand over this to Vishwa, but so far we've kind of covered our issues that we run into our day-to-day lives, and COVID has sort of exaggerated all these issues many folds for a lot of us, where we have to stay at home and try, not go out and still maintain our mental sanity, do our work, deal with our kids. So we know what our issues are. We know what we're trying to tackle. We know what meditation is. We know how it helps us tackle some of those issues. And I'll now hand it over to Vishwa, who will sort of take over what meditation is, how heartfulness helps us with this meditation, and what the science is. And we can experience this in the later half of this session. And then we can have our Q&A after that. So Vishwa.
Thank you so much, Tanmay. Okay, so what I wanted to actually communicate in this particular slide is like, I'm sure you all would have experienced one or the other meditation. Somewhere deep down in your heart, you are wondering, what have I tried so far? And what is this heartfulness? How is this all getting connected? So while there are different types of meditation, even personally that I have come across in my life, I have largely sort of put them into some buckets. So one type of meditation is, say, for example, focused attention meditation, which is like you take a particular object. Tanmay has already beautifully said that the key idea of the mind is to stay in the present moment, or bring this wandering mind into a or particular object, or bring about self-awareness. So in focused attention meditation, we basically take a particular object. It can be a light, it can be maybe a deity or whatever that could be. And then you try to focus on that and keep that in your field of attention for as long as it is possible, with the intention that during that period of time, the mind does not wander. This is focused attention. Now, this is not what heartfulness is. Now, next one. There is another type of meditation which is called as open monitoring. In this open monitoring approach, what basically we do is we try to just become like a witness or an observer and watch how our mind works. Basically, like all the thoughts. Imagine that you are just sitting by a highway and you are actually watching all this, traffic move by. So it's just like that, simply, watching all the thoughts just coming up and down, it's just like that. But we are trying to remain dispassionate about what those thoughts were. Meaning, say that, I had a sort of an argument with somebody and I'm very deeply disturbed. And so I want to actually meditate and calm myself down. So if I close my eyes and try to do this open monitoring approach, and if these thoughts were to really well up, I should really remain dispassionate. That is, I should not get carried away by that emotion. So that is open monitoring approach. Again, this is not what heartfulness is. There is third type, which is like transcendental, which is to primarily transcend the consciousness. So there are different approaches they take. One of the common type of approach is to let the mind travel with the sound vibrations. So either that you play some music, like something peaceful, like, like a beach waves or by a waterfall, or it could also be like, take some mantras like that are very powerful and try to chant, like with the idea being that over a period of time, you just go behind those mantras, like the essence behind it, the vibrations behind it, and you just try to rest your mind on that one. So like this, there are different types of meditations involved, and none of this is what heartfulness is. So now let's look at what heartfulness is. I can put heartfulness in this very simple way. 3 S's. The first one, it's a very simple practice, but not simplistic, meaning that you don't have to be on a fast. You don't have to stand upside down. You don't have to really go through some rigorous postures in order to be experiencing a deeper state of relaxation within you. Say that you are doing a commute, to workplace, and let's say you have like close to 30 minutes time. You don't know what to do. Instead of just like, hooking yourself up into a phone, you can just hook yourself into your own heart and you'll be able to experience something. Second is, it is secular, meaning like, there are people from all walks of life. And basically, like when we say that heartfulness is being practiced in over 140 countries, it's all over the globe. So people from different ethnicities, different faiths, different practices, they all do. One very interesting piece, which something that brought me into heartfulness, was there was no precursor or a precondition, meaning if you have been following a particular type of meditation or a particular type of faith, there are absolutely no preconditions for heartfulness that you have to let go of it in order to experience what heartfulness has to offer. In fact, the beauty is heartfulness basically complements whatever you basically are doing. So that's the beauty of it. The third one, which of course made me more curious about heartfulness, it is very scientific. Meaning, there are aspects of heartfulness that is like the basic meditation, the core practices around it, and also the micro practices around it. All of them have been tested, researched, and there is some research material around all those ones. So they are basically like, there is a scientific backing to all those things. Next slide, please. Okay, so now in heartfulness, now before we move into the meditation segment, what we have to understand is, number one, it's a very natural sort of a thing, which means that we won't close our eyes and we won't artificially imagine as though we are sitting on clouds, or we won't be imagining as though we are sitting on like a beach just by ourselves alone, or we won't be thinking of a nature scenery, nothing of that kind. No artificial projections, but anything natural that actually comes from within. That's exactly what we would try to do in heartfulness. That's number one. Number two, It's effortless, meaning there is no concentration. There is a key thing for us to understand. In heartfulness, what we try to do is we tune our attention into our heart. When we say tune your attention into our heart, it is basically, let's say that you have a wall clock and I ask you what the time is now. What you do is you just simply turn around to look into that particular area where the clock is. And then you don't try to push yourself too much to focus, but rather just gather the knowledge around where is a long hand, where is a short hand, where is a second hand. It's just like that. The same way, when we try to connect into our heart, we just gently rest our attention over there without having to push our mind only to sit there. So in other words, we call it as observation. So this is how we shift from the reactive mind into the responsive heart. In other words, we move from a hyperactivity to inner calmness. I will give you one analogy over here so you can better understand this. Our mind is always busy. It keeps thinking about what am I doing now, what next, all those kind of things. Think that you are actually sitting on like a canoe in a lake, and there is this ripples which are actually like moving your lake, moving your canoe up and down. This is like a busy mind which is always thinking about what next, what I have to do, why not this, why not that, all those kind of things. Suppose you had to jump into that lake. Within few seconds, what you will all feel is just the stillness. You won't feel the surface disturbance even touch you. So this is how we try to transcend the conscious mind, which is very busy, go into a deeper state of relaxation into the subconscious and experience what it has to offer. So this is why we take up the heart. Next slide, please, Anne. Okay. Now let's also look at why the heart. Heart Math Institute, it's one of the global nonprofits as well. They have been doing a lot of research in the field of heart. One of those things what they have found is like the heart being a very powerful center in a particular person, that it creates, or there is an electromagnetic vibratory field which emanates from a person's heart stretching up to 18 feet. So as now, wherever you are sitting, there is an electromagnetic vibratory field stretching around you. And very interesting thing is when people come into this particular field, there is an overlap. So basically, if you have any intentions, those intentions travel through that field. And even before you speak any word, the other person can catch your intentions. Have you ever experienced a situation where you try to get to some set of people and you feel, what, I feel uneasy. I just want to like move away from this place, not for me kind of. Or let's say on the other hand, you have also been around a set of people where you feel, what, I wish like, we are able to stay longer and we are able to like kind of converse more or be in that particular presence. It's that warm feeling, like, the feeling which actually just travels through that particular field. Next one. Yeah, thanks. So, in the ancient Greek mythology, like they call this heart to be aesthesis, meaning something that can breathe in. By breathing, it doesn't mean that, something it can technically, like in a physical way, breathe. But what they acknowledged was heart is not something that can just simply pump blood, but it can also breathe in information, process, and then give information. And this is what, like the modern science actually proves. So in the modern science, what they have found is we basically have three brains. One is the cranial brain, which is there in the brain, which is within the skull, between your ears. And then there is a little brain, which is basically the heart. And then the third, there is a gut brain, which is in the area of the gut. Now, what they have found is the amount of information that the heart sends to your brain, the cranial brain, is 5 times more than what the cranial brain sends to the entire body. So you can see how your heart actually plays a very active role during our daily life. But because the signals are very subtle, like, it is not sometimes we are able to very strongly feel because the mind is very busy. So if you have, let's say that you have this sort of a situation where you made a decision, your mind thinks that, what, this is the best probable one that you have to do and you did it. But then you can feel a tremendous amount of uneasiness in your heart. You just don't feel comfortable at all. Although you kind of reconcile and say like, this is what I had to do in that given situation, but your heart will give you a lot of unease. So this is all a way how your heart gives you the signals. Next one, Tanmay. So as I have already told you, when these intentions travel through this particular field, and if the mind is quiet, so you will automatically think of a particular person, and then you'll think, oh, you know what? I was just thinking of this person, and then the person, right before, called me or knocked on my door or whatever it is. This is what we call as a body premonition or intuition, or even, like deja vu, which is like you have a flash of it before it actually even occurs. And it also, like in the ancient, Eastern science, it's also considered that the seat of the soul is around in the heart area. So like when the life conceives in the mother's womb, the first sign of life, the speck of heartbeat, is what one finds to acknowledge that the life has conceived in the mother's womb. And the last thing that stops is also the heart. So basically the key thing for you to know is, like, if you, like what Tanmay was saying, if you all have a mobile phone, if you don't charge it, it will die. It can go like probably for a few hours, like maybe 12 hours or what it is, and then it will die after that. But if you think of it, your heart, from the time that the life conceived, it goes for several years without skipping a beat. Now, the key question would be that where is this heart powered onto? Now, in heartfulness, we take that source into which this particular heart powered onto as, the object of meditation in heartfulness. Next one, Tanmay. Okay, so we are just about there to close our eyes and meditate. But before we meditate, let's just understand the science of heartfulness so you can sort of understand what's going to happen during this meditation. There are two unique things with respect to heartfulness. One we call as impressions or mental models. That is, that we would have heard about these chakras, which are like, very, very, famous, very charming. We would have come across them. Now, the ancient system of yoga, which talks about the 7 chakras, which is Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipuraka, Anahata, Vishuddhi, Agya, and Sahasrara, they are there in the spinal column. Now, in heartfulness, the teachers have done several researches to find in the field of vibrations of nature. And what they have found is there are several more energy centers or chakras, which are there in the front side of our body, which is on the front side. Now, right below the nipple and right above the nipple, and also like through the face and also to the back of the head. Now, in heartfulness, these chakras, which are in the front side of the body, will come into play, and which you will be experiencing in some time now. Now, what happens is whenever we experience something in our life, they enter into our system as vibration through these chakras, which are there in the front side of our body, and it goes to the to the brain. And by the time it goes to the brain, it has already gone through several layers of vibrational imprints from your past experiences, and it gets colored. So basically, if a situation happens outside, you look at it differently, while your other companion may look at it very differently. That's primarily because your experiences through which these vibrations have traversed through have taken a different color. So imagine like a water flowing through a black soil taking a black color, or flowing through a red soil taking a red color. The same way, as it goes through several fields of energy centers, they get colored. And so you look at it with some emotions. And so that's how the thought perception forms. Now, what happens when these vibrations enter? They remain in the field of our consciousness. And the same way, in order for us to perceive in our brain, the cognates come together. The brain is full of neurons. The neurons have, the dendrites. Basically, they form these cognates, synaptic connections. So what happens if, let's say, we experienced fear, we experienced humiliation, the field of vibrations entered in the field of our heart through these, energy centers. And then the synaptic connections came together to give us a feeling of humiliation or pain or what it is. Now, the synaptic connections remain there for several years. The field of vibrations, whichever entered into our heart, also remain there. Now, over a period of time, what happens? They all become programs in our subconscious mind, starting to fire it at some different times. So there will be that you could have come across many people where life would all be fine, but then they feel lonely, or sometimes like things are, very different. There's a very strong characteristic you can find in certain people. It's all because of these networks, which are like, internally firing and secreting chemical reactions, which we don't have control over. So now what happens? There is a energy that comes into play in heartfulness. We call it as Pranaahuti, or in English, we call it as loosely transmission. Prana basically means the life essence. Ahuti is something that is offered from the source. A trainer who is capable of tapping into a higher dimension can draw this energy from the source and transmit into a person's heart. Now, when this energy flows inside the person's heart, it starts to do its work in the field of different energy centers by clearing away all the past vibratory imprints which are there, and thereby the mind's activity will begin to quieten down. That is something for you to experience. So now we will, with this said, move into an experience session. Can you move to the next one? Okay. So what we are going to be doing is like we will all sit comfortably. We will close our eyes. I will be walking you through a relaxation. a guided relaxation. So we will draw an energy from Mother Earth, and then we will just take it through every single part of your body. And then every single part of the body, when I actually let it go through, you basically will relax yourself. And then when it goes all the way up to the crown of our head and we relax every single part of our body, I will bring you into your heart. I will connect you into that divine presence which is already there in your heart. So just rest your awareness over there. If thoughts were to come, just ignore them, because this is a time where you're having it for yourself. You can be completely unmindful of anything and everything and just be your own self. Very importantly, when the experience is over, I will guide you through to observe certain things that you might have experienced during this meditation. So you can probably sum up how the experience was. So with not taking much time, let's proceed. It's around 10:35 a.m. now. So gently close your eyes. Now sit comfortably. You can sit with your legs stretched or legs folded or legs put down, whatever that posture can be. Even if you want to sit down or sit on a chair or a sofa, whatever that is, whichever is convenient for you, sit in that comfortable posture. Now have the intention that you want to go inside yourself to experience the divine presence in your heart. Okay. Now gently tune your attention to your toes. Now feel the divine energy from Mother Earth entering your toes. Feel your toes fully relaxed. Now feel this energy expand inside your feet and ankles. Now observe the energy channels inside your feet and ankles and observe how this energy is moving or expanding through that. Feel your feet and ankles fully relaxed. Now feel this energy move further up inside your lower legs. Again, observe how this energy expands inside your lower legs through that energy channels. Feel as the energy expands in your lower legs. Any tension, any uneasiness, they all are releasing. And feel a relaxation there. Now feel this energy move further up inside your knees. Feel as the energy expands in your knees. Your knees are getting relaxed. Now feel this energy move further up inside your upper legs. Observe how this energy is slowly expanding inside your upper legs. Feel your upper legs now fully relaxed. Now feel this energy move further up inside your hip area. Feel any uneasiness in your hip area releasing through the sides. Now feel this energy move further up inside your lower back. Feel this energy expanding inside your lower back. Feel any pain, any tightness in your lower back is all releasing through the sides. Now feel this energy expand all over your upper back. Observe how this energy is slowly expanding all over your upper back. Any muscle spasm, any tightness, as this energy touches that area, it's all easing out. Now feel this energy move up into your shoulders. Feel your shoulders becoming light. Now feel this energy flow inside your arms. Feel this energy flowing inside your upper arms. Feel how is it expanding there. Then your elbows, your forearms, your wrist, your fingers, and feel this energy ooze out through your fingertips. Feel your arms becoming very light. Now feel this energy move up inside your neck area. Feel as the energy expands in your neck area, it's becoming soft. Now feel this energy further expand and move inside your face. Feel this energy touching every part of your facial muscles and bringing about a state of relaxation. Your chin, your jaws, your lips, your cheeks, your nose, your eyes, forehead, temples, and feel this relaxation all the way up to the crown of your head. Now feel the entire body fully relaxed. Now gently tune into your heart. Go into the innermost core of your heart. Have the idea that your heart is already filled with the source of the light. Feel the intensity of this light, drawing your attention deep within. Rest your awareness by this divine presence in your heart. And please begin meditation. Now, continue to remain in your heart with your eyes closed. Now, mentally recount the experience you had during this meditation. How was the rush of thoughts? Did you have thoughts continuously throughout this meditation? Or the mind initially had some thoughts and then slowly became quieter and quieter as the meditation progressed? Make a mental note. Now, observe during this meditation if you had any sensations in your body. Now, very importantly, go into your heart and try to find out what is the feeling you have in your heart. Do you feel rested and relaxed? Do you feel calm? Do you feel peaceful? Do you feel like staying with your eyes closed for some more time in this state? Make a mental note. At any time of the meditation, did you feel that you got into a very deeper state? Make a note of all these things. Now, whenever you are ready, you may gently open your eyes. So I hope you were able to get a taste of what this energy is all about and how this heartfulness meditation was basically. Now we can take a few questions if you have, or maybe if any of you are willing to share how you experienced during this meditation, you can feel free to share that one. So Tanmay, you can probably stop sharing your screen. So if anyone has any questions, or if you feel like sharing how your experience was, you didn't like it at all, too much of thoughts, or you had some amount of relaxation, whatever that is, it'll be nice for us to hear. There seems to be a hand up.
Thank you. It was a beautiful meditation. I was able to, my problem has always been these thoughts. And today it was amazingly, I was able to block out a lot of thoughts. It's very, 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 there was a sense of, very deep sense of stillness I felt on and off, on and off. It was not sustained, but that's something remarkable for me.
Would you be interested to know what I did?
Sure.
Why don't we just spice this up? So, it's not really like always a customary meditation session, which is like always stay quiet, close your eyes, know nothing, what happens. Mm-hmm. So why don't I also share what I did?
Yeah.
But as I do that, I request the TGF organizers if they would be okay to, launch the poll. So everyone who joined the session can actually give us some sort of a feedback on how you felt your inner state was, or, what it is. So while that is going on, I can probably take these questions and keep answering them. So first thing that I wanted to tell you all, or maybe like even Saraswati, first of all, thank you so much for, sharing this experience. It's really wonderful to hear. You see, as I said, the conscious mind is basically very active, right? Now, before I even explain what I did, I have one question back for you. Now, how long you think you are meditating for? Just
no
give you
clue.
Just give you a
I would say about 20 minutes.
Okay, that's a good guess. So we started at 10:35, right? We went all the way until 10:54. So basically like little less than 25 minutes, so 24 minutes. So the key thing is generally whenever I have come across with so many people, right? Or even this is, see, when you talk about meditation, the first thing people say is, oh, I can't sit more than 5 minutes because my mind is very busy. I can't really do more than that. So now right here, you have an experience of you sitting with the trainer for close to 20 minutes. And you are saying that you experience something very deeply touching, deeply relaxing. So that itself should give you more confidence that about this particular energy and the experience that you can have with the trainer. Now, very importantly in Heartfulness, what we do is we invite everyone to take a very experiential approach and an experimental approach. So as a matter of fact, don't believe in anything what the trainers say. That is something we say right at the beginning itself. Don't believe in anything that the trainers say, because the system can be the best system. But if you did not feel anything about it, then it is of no use. It's not probably meant for you. So something that we actually say is, if you experience something deep, you really liked it, try to experiment it again. I will give you a couple of suggestions which you can try it out right after the session, because now I'm not transmitting, right after the session. You can try to close your eyes and do the same heartfulness meditation, whatever we did now. Try to see if you can sit even for 5 minutes. Try to see it for yourself. Then you will see the big difference. Now, the second thing what I will suggest you is, next week we will be coming here to share with you a different technique altogether. Say that you are very stressed because of all these things that are happening in your life. There is a beautiful technique. If you do, it can actually detox your system and you will feel instantly de-stressed. We will give you that experience also. So you can try that experience too. And then you can sort of keep reassessing in your own hearts if this is working for you or not. And how is this happening? It's just more of a childish curiosity with which we can actually take it through. Now, coming back to your question of like what I did during this meditation, I channelized this transmission into everybody who are sitting over there. And I try to clear out all the emotional baggages which has been gathering in these energy centers in the past. What is the result of it? Just in these 20 minutes, how much ever I could clean, I went about it. So the effect of it is you can have a taste of what this heartfulness meditation can give you. Again, I'm telling you, this is just the tip of the iceberg. This is not what heartfulness can. It's something much beyond what this is. But just because we have only 20 minute segment for meditation, we just gave you a taste of what in that 20 minutes we can do for you. Like if you choose to learn more about this one, you can always connect with us. And there are these I'll tell you, in fact, everybody who is joining here, one thing. I have a couple of businesses for myself and I work full time for one of the insurance organizations, and I work in the field of information technology. Same thing with Tanmay too. We don't have any commercial interest in anybody who is coming, joining Heartfulness or learning Heartfulness, nothing really like that. As a matter of fact, the time that we are spending with you, we are taking it away from our family and we are sitting with you and we are offering this experience to you. The only motivation for us, somebody has done this for us and changed our lives, touched our lives. And we felt at some point that, what, our life should not always be just me, myself, and my family, but rather we should also look to see how we can help everybody around in the society. So while we come around over here, we have zero commercial interest. You can actually as well say, what, I had a great experience or I had absolutely a bad experience. So thank you so much. I don't want to come. We are totally okay to part as friends. But if you had something, a touching experience, and if you think that, what, this can probably be a great thing to be adding into my approach to life, we'll be very happy to share that too. As a matter of fact, heartfulness is basically not just about meditation. Let's think about as a common human being, what do we do? Suppose you go to a workplace, you have a colleague who is giving you a hard time. What do you do as a normal person? You feel bad. There are times when you can confront, there are times when you have to swallow the bitter pill. You come and vent it out in your family and you just express like, how difficult it is for you. Or you are taking on a particular project and you're going through a very difficult phase and you don't know how to come out of it. You struggle. In heartfulness, there are techniques. Like, if you don't have to really worry about it, just do the technique. It can bring about a change in yourself as well as a change in the other person. Suppose, let's say that you are very stressed. You are trying to come at home. Your children are coming and trying to engage with you, talk to you, but your mind is completely busy. Part of you is still sticking in your workplace because of like what you have started and what you have to finish. There are techniques in heartfulness which can completely cut that off, and you will be 100% with your family. Now, let's say that you go to sleep and then you have trouble sleeping because your mind is completely chattering. Now, there are techniques in heartfulness which can take you instantly into a state of sleep. Now, there are people who have trouble with anxiety and fear because like you go to sleep at night and then like suddenly some nightmare wakes you up. Or it could be that, you have some presentation or something or some exams for children or whatever it is. There are techniques in heartfulness. You do that and you will find the relief. It's a scientific one. And now all of these things, we don't charge a dime, and we don't have any intentions of building any memberships here. We share it. It's totally free. If you find that this is actually helping you, we are happy to help you. If you think that, well, I learned something new, I can do it by myself, which is also great. You can do it by yourself. So the key thing over here is if you really want to feel the difference in yourself with respect to these deeper states of relaxation, the deeper state of peace, and with this, if you want to engage with your family and then engage with, whatever work you want to do, there are ways in heartfulness. The trainers can help you. Now, if you are interested to learn more, connect with us. We can even do some sessions midweek because there are several people who come and take these sort of meditation sessions from us. We'll be very happy to share all those things with you and help you out. Now, with that thing, if you have any further questions, I would be very happy to take that too.
Vishwa, I think there's a question about from Arun. We practice pranayam. Is heartfulness better than pranayam? So Arun, I would say that when it comes to heartfulness, we're not in a competition mode by any means. We are here to simply offer you a service. And as we mentioned in the past, try it out, experience it, give it your full heart, try it out for 3 months with a full heart. And then you decide what works for you, what doesn't work for you. There's no competition here saying, we are better than this, we're better than that, or this is better than that, or anything of that sort. It's simply an experience-based practice where you are the one who's doing the experience. This is a motto of our organization as well. As you're doing the experiment, you are the experiment, and you are the ones who are going to understand the effect of that experiment on yourself. And then you yourself can tell, as Vishwa alluded to, it can be a great practice, but if it doesn't work for you, it's of no use. You're not utilizing your time very well. So what we will recommend or advise, or whatever the word may be, is that you try it out for yourself and pick the path that works for you. And you can do heartfulness with any of the existing things that you are doing. It doesn't have to be one or the other. One of the S's was secular. So there's no such hard, rigid rule that we force that you can only do heartfulness and nothing else. You can do whatever else you do in your daily life. But if you're able to incorporate heartfulness with your full heart, we will be more than happy to help you in any way we can.
So wonderful question, and thanks, Tanmay, for clarifying. For those who heard that question, it's a very interesting one. Pranayama, Pranaahuti, are they one and the same? One is which is better? I can give you an answer both spiritually. I can also give you an answer scientifically, but I don't want to take much time because Tanmay has already answered it. And if you would like to know how spiritually and scientifically, join the next session, ask the same question, and I will try to answer that one. But they are different. Does anyone have any other questions?
I think Prabir ji also have another question. Prabir ji, just go ahead with your question.
Yeah. My name is Prabir Yogi, and I have a question which is partially answered by you. That is that if somebody is currently trying to follow the pranayams, which many of us try to do, is Pranaahuti complementary to that, or would it be seen as an alternative? The other part of the question is, of course, experiential, that we really cannot form an opinion unless we've tried this for a period of time.
Okay, it's a wonderful question. Tanmay, is it okay if I take this question? Okay, all right. So I didn't get the name of whoever asked this question, but thank you so much for actually asking this question. I will take a couple of minutes to explain this. Generally, when we talk about yoga, right, people think about physical exercises, or at the best, people think it is pranayam. But basically, the yoga, as originally codified by the saint Patanjali, actually has 8 limbs to it. It's also called as Ashtanga Yoga, means yam, niyam, asana, pranayama, pratyahara, dharana, dhyana, samadhi. There are totally 8 states. Now, if you really see, asana and pranayama are like one of the preliminary stages which generally people dabble with, and people think that is all what yoga is. But the intention of yoga is to get into a state where the individual consciousness can merge with the supreme consciousness. For that, all these steps will have to be taken up. So let's say that in like around 100 years back, if somebody were to go to some sort of a gurukul and then they wanted to learn what this yoga was, they will basically take up to this yam first, and then like go through like around 2-3 years. I won't explain what they are at this point, but I will explain to you like maybe in one of the other sessions, so that I can take few more questions. So then after spending 2 years or so, then they take niyama, and then after they spend like 2 years and they become master of it, then they take this asana, then they take the pranayama, then they take up the pratyahara, then they take up dharana. So they go like this. The last but one penultimate state is dhyan, meditation. The intention is when you do the meditation, after you have mastered all those things, when you do the meditation, the effect of the meditation is all the essence of the preliminary steps will all be utilized or actualized during a meditation. So now to your question, whether this pranayam is basically like complementing with this pranahuti or the meditation, I think it actually answers your question. When you are able to take up to something a much profound and a very powerful practice such as heartfulness, which is in the state of dhyan, pranahuti is also embedded as part of an essence within that, which you will be able to actualize the benefit of it. It doesn't mean that you have to stop whatever pranayama you are following. You are more than welcome to follow. If there is more information you would like to know about this one, I can actually explain that to you in the next session in terms of how both pranayama and pratyahara are different, both from scientific as well as from a spiritual standpoint. Now, there is a poll which is actually on your screen. It'll be very nice if you can, give us some feedback of how you felt, because this is a key thing not only for TGIF, even for us, because this way we will also be able to expand on our programs, improve the quality of our programs. Now, one thing I will actually tell you all is, what this heartfulness is not really like something that came up 2 years back or 3 years back, or something like a mom and pop show. So this is something that has been in practice for the past 100 years. And it has been continuously going through a lot of research, and several new techniques have been coming through to cope up with all the challenges that we have been having with the current life that we have been having, be it the electromagnetic pollution, like with the smartphone gadgets or whatever it is. It's a very, very scientific and a very profound modern practice, I would think. I'm very happy that we were able to, have this opportunity to even meet you all and stay with you all. So give us this feedback, whatever it is, through this poll. Now, in the next session, what we will be having next Saturday, same time, will be that we are going to be taking up a particular technique, which is we will again have a sort of a knowledge aspect of it for you all to understand how stress builds up in our system, especially with some play of chakras and other things. And we will take up a very different technique, and that'll, you can experience it to see whether the stress release happens during that session or not. Now, because in all the 4 sessions, we are going to expose to you different techniques for you. If you think this meditation was something you liked it, and if you would like to know more about it, maybe Tanmay, you can share your screen with that contact email, so people can reach out. And through this week, we will be very happy to give you a few more experiences, a few more deeper cleaning. So the effect of it would be that in the next session, whenever you take, you will be able to feel that you are able to go much deeper, much effortlessly, and you'll be able to enjoy it much better. So the email address is actually there on your screen. It's ottawa.on@heartfulness.org. Very simple. It's ottawa.on@heartfulness.org. So Tanmay, do you have anything else to add?
Yeah, what I would like to add is, again, as we alluded to, we have no stake. Our goal is simply, if there is more people who are able to benefit from us, we're more than happy. So if you think you benefited from this session, and if you think the next session, which is stress management, there's any of your colleagues or friends who are going to benefit, please feel free to share it with them, because we are just trying to help everyone and anyone. As Vishwa said, somebody did it for us. We're just kind of like, paid forward movie, if you have seen it. So that's what our role is. So anything we can do to help. And if you find somebody, if you think of any of your family, friends who will benefit from these sessions, please feel free to share it with them.
Absolutely. And thank you so much, Vishwa and Tanmay, for taking us through this beautiful journey. And for me, what really you've done is you've planted the seed of curiosity regarding heartfulness. So I truly feel that I'm really curious to explore this further. And it was a beautiful experience. And I echo some of the feedback that the participants have given, that there was this feeling of like feeling a lot of thoughts at the same time, and then coming to a point then that it was kind of everything was quietening down. So I got really curious about it. So thank you so much for as I think about this, I want to ask you guys. So one step is that we can attend these workshops and get a bit of a flavor of what heartfulness is about. But outside of this, how can we participate, or what are some of the programs that are available in the community right now that our audiences can connect to?
So we have programs at different levels. So we do CME programs for medical professionals. We do programs in schools. We do programs in universities. We do programs for senior homes for seniors. We do programs with disability organizations who are having special needs. And we also do programs in the community. And then we also do programs in corporates. So take any big organization like Yahoo, Microsoft, Qualcomm, Infotech, like Northbridge. Take any big organization. We have done heartfulness programs over there as well. So our approach with respect to heartfulness is very comprehensive, right from stress management to self-realization. So somebody says what, I don't want too much deep of what spirituality is. I just simply need to de-stress myself, enjoy what peace is. Well, we have programs for you. If you say what, I want to know much deeper than where it takes. It's a rabbit hole that I want to go deep, and you want to not just enough to wet your nails, but you want to dive deep to enjoy the pearls. Well, we have some ways too. So both ways we'll be able to do it.
So are there you're offering this virtually right now? Are there virtual programs being
Everything
offered?
virtual. Everything virtual. Yes. So it's all happening through Zoom sessions. So in fact, those who connect with us through ottawa.on at heartfulness.org, especially for TGIF people, we would be very happy to host a separate session, and we would be able to onboard you with certain nuances of this practice. See, the key thing is, if let's say you want to go from a place to another place, you use a GPS because you don't know how to go from one place to the other. Same thing to do with meditation also. Not everything we can get out of YouTube. Sometimes when you close your eyes and do, you never know whether you're doing it the right way or not, whether it is good for you or not, what experience is coming for you, and what is the reason why you're experiencing. For example, one of the practitioners actually asked, I felt a deep relaxation. What produced that one? There is a reason for it. So all those things, we would be very happy to open it up and share it with you. So that way you will also be able to build on your learning.
Absolutely. This is fantastic. And I think especially this is relevant. It's always been relevant, but especially today, now the way our environment is, there's a lot of stressors, a lot of unpredictability happening. So it is, I think, a very valuable tool. And it's also, I find it's a refreshing tool. So we have, as you had mentioned in your talk, heard about mindfulness and meditation in so many different ways that the idea is all very confusing right now. So this feels very simplified and refreshing.
I thought somebody would ask me about what is the difference between mindfulness and heartfulness. So probably
okay, there you go. That's your question.
So I don't know whether we have time now, or do we take it next week? I don't know how long it is.
Let's just answer that question and we can wrap it up. Yes.
Okay. You see, generally, when you talk about mindfulness, there are a set of, I think, 10 practices. But the key thing over there is to let your mind bring into a state of awareness. So the key thing is about awareness. This awareness can be brought about by, focusing on your breath or focusing on different parts of your body. It's just like that, which is very important and which is very much needed in this busy life. Heartfulness is a natural evolution of mindfulness, and it takes into a much deeper state. It's not just like, we connect into our heart to bring about the awareness. We start working on the inner expansion of consciousness, which is much deeper in its real sense. So this is how, like, mindfulness and heartfulness, works. In fact, if you all are interested, I can give you an experience of it too. But not necessarily to compare both the systems, not really like that, because we respect all the systems. But, generally you tend to understand things better when you experientially like see it for yourself. So if anyone reaches out and they would like to see the difference for themselves, I will give you an experience of both so you can see it for yourself.
Absolutely. I think that would be a great idea. And what to me it sounds like is the heartfulness, like, is a bit more deeper experience. Like maybe mindfulness could be a step one, and then to go a little bit step further and expand, what you're doing is you step into heartfulness. Right?
Well, there are several stages of several people, and many things work for them. The way how I look at it is, it's a house with 9 doors. So you can enter into that house through any of the door that you like. And the experience of it, whichever is more welcoming for you, you take up to that.
Okay. Wow. Okay. I'm just getting more and more curious about this. The more I hear from you, Vishwaji, the more curious I get, and the more it's like, okay, how are we gonna end this today? Okay, no, that's fantastic. So I hope our audience have the similar curiosity, and it sounds like some of the questions that our participants asked has done exactly that. So I just want to reiterate again that you'll be offering another session next week on March 13th, which is going to be stress detox, and March 20th we'll be focusing on fear and anxiety detox. And March 27th, which will be one of the last in the series, will be to develop inner poise. So those are the 4 topics we have. And the time will be same. We'll be logging in a similar fashion like we did today on Facebook live, and also on Zoom at 10 o'clock EST time. Okay. And I just want to read a few comments that are showing up on our chat for all of you. So one person wrote, "Thank you so much for your complimentary technique of meditation to add to our own practices. You inspire. Gratefully from my heart to you, virtual hugs." So that's a great way.
Yes.
Okay, thank you everyone who have done the polling. If you have not yet completed the polling, please make sure you do that. And so that we have not just for TGIF, but even for Heartfulness. This is a great, and I already do see some answers going on. So we'll keep the polling on for the next few minutes. Okay, and we will wrap up. Thank you, Vishwaji and Tanmayji, for this great experience.
Thank you.
And we're looking forward to having you back next week.
Yeah, right? We are also looking forward to it. Take care, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.
Take care. Have a good weekend. Bye-bye.
Yeah, bye.